1460 WVOX.
Now, live from Whitney Media, 1460 WVOX, the Greenburgh Report, with Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner. You can join in the conversation at 914-636-0110. Now on 1460 WVOX, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor.
I'm Pauline Mosley. We're so happy to have you join us today.
And yesterday, we had an amazing day. If you went to the Greenburgh Health Center, there were 1,000 Thanksgiving meals that were given to Greenburgh's lower income population, and all the meals were donated by Central Turf and Irrigation Supply, which is headquartered in Elmsford, and it's a family-run business owned and operated by Bernardo Luciano and his daughter Camilla Cervillo. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And, when you contacted me a couple of weeks ago and said you wanted to donate 1,000 meals for lower income families, I was shocked because there's a lot of Thanksgiving Day meal giveaways around, but I don't know of any other place where one person made the donation. What made you make such a generous donation?
So my dad's always had this vision of giving back to the community. He came to this country with nothing. So his vision was to do what we could do to help others. He's been talking about it for multiple years. We just didn't know how to go about it. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. They just don't know where to start, who to reach out to, how to get this, in motion and how to get it going. We're fortunate that I live in Greenburgh. He was a former Greenburgh resident. He just moved a few years ago. But I was fortunate enough to still live in Greenburgh and have access to Paul Feiner, our town supervisor, who is amazing. He's the only person I know that you could call or email at any time, and he will respond. So that says a lot about our community in Greenburgh.
Oh, thank you.
So, and then that was it. I had sent you the email, and within 5 minutes, I got a reply with 20 other people on it, and it just set the motion. That's it. After that, we just kept going, and we were able to do that yesterday, and we're grateful to the town. We're grateful to the Greenburgh Health Center. We're grateful to DeChico and Sons. I mean, there were so many people involved in this. Schools, Greenburgh schools, all the children that donated, artwork. Hackley School donated artwork and cards in multiple languages. So we had people reading and asking if they could take those cards home with them. It was just the Girl Scout troop. It
was like a logistical, a very difficult effort to organize, and I have to credit my assistant, Krista Madsen, who spent a good chunk of the last few weeks, working on this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And, it was so nice because when I saw people, they were really smiling, they were really appreciative, and they felt really good. And it was also the type of thing where people they maintained their dignity. So nobody felt embarrassed getting the meals. You didn't put people down.
No.
I just felt it was really, really great. And I guess, Bernardo, you're like the male version of Mother Teresa. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I came from Italy when I was 15, and I came here by myself, and it was very hard to get started. That was a struggle, getting a job and get things going, but eventually I got it going, little by little.
Well, thank you so much, Bernardo, and your daughter, Camilla, for joining us today. I'd like to know, where did you get your inspiration from to be so kind and so generous and so thoughtful, especially during this season where people are coming out of the pandemic and don't have a meal? This vision, where was it birthed at? Where did you get your inspiration from?
over the years, I felt Thanksgiving is an important day for everybody. And I feel there's lots of people that can afford to buy a good meal. And I just wanted to reach out as many people we can with a nice Thanksgiving meal, that they should have a Thanksgiving meal just like everybody else. So I didn't know where to start, but I just wanted to get that thing started somewhere and to do the right way, to make sure that the people in need will get that. And I feel good about doing it. So.
Yeah, well, that is absolutely incredible that you have really extended your family to so many within the community, and this is what community is all about. And you and your family and your daughter are really testimonials to what sharing and giving and love is during this season. Really just really deep and dig in within your pockets to help other people and think beyond yourselves is very, very unselfish. And I'm sure on behalf of all those, the recipients of these families are so grateful for the warmth and the meal and the love and the care and feeling someone really cares about them in this community. So thank you.
And we also want to thank all our employees, because they wanted to come out and they wanted to help us they wanted to contribute to this, because they feel that they want to do for the community as well.
Yeah.
It was so organized, seeing them serving the meals. And
Yeah.
how many employees were there yesterday?
40. I think we had about 40, and we had people come from Rhode Island, so 2.5 hours away. We had people from Maryland that came just for this.
That is really
That's
incredible.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about your company, Central Turf and Irrigation Supply? It's based in Elmsford?
Corporate headquarters in Elmsford. We have one of our branches there, but we kind of spread out across the country as well as in Canada. So we have approximately 58 locations, and we sell all kinds of product for outdoor living, outdoor irrigation, lighting, patios, all kinds of stuff outdoor.
That's amazing. And you've worked in the family business?
Yeah. I come from teaching. My background is teaching. And he was like, I think it's time for you to come into the family business. So about 20 years ago, I was like, okay, I think it's time. So I left teaching, and I've been with the family business since.
And what type of work do you do at the company?
So I do, I actually wear a lot of hats. So, but my main thing is I'm VP in administration. So I administer a lot of stuff. I handle all the benefits for our employees. So I make sure that, they're taken care of. They know that they're in good hands. It's not just somebody else. It's me. I care about you. I'm going to do the best that I can. So I overlook the HR department as well.
So you look at the HR. How many employees do you have?
We have about 200, I want to say, between 270 and 300 right now.
Oh, wow. So we have to take a break, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes. And we're interviewing Bernardo Luciano and Camilla Cervillo of Central Turf and Irrigation Supply. And yesterday they did something amazing. They donated 1,000 meals to people who are hungry. And there were a lot of people who were smiling yesterday at the Greenburgh, Health Center, and very, very thankful, because you really made their Thanksgiving special. So thank you very, very much. I wish we would have clones.
WVOX. Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the town supervisor, and just 2 seconds ago I got an unsolicited email from somebody who said, I want to thank you for coordinating the meals for us yesterday. Things went well and lots of folks benefited. Your team was great, and this is an organization that picked up 200 meals. Life Progressive Services in Mount Vernon. They support previously incarcerated individuals integrating themselves back into the community. I learned about them from the Rivertown's Rotary Club. And they partner with the Mount Vernon Adult Center to provide Thanksgiving turkeys. And they're struggling this year to get enough to satisfy the need. And they said, they wrote to me a couple weeks ago saying that they could use the help, and they asked for 200 meals, and they said it was a godsend, and they're really appreciative. So, I really feel that, what to me was so nice about what you did is that I felt that the donations you made really were put to good use. I didn't see any misuse. I felt people who were really needy were getting the food. And I just really wanted to ask you if Central Turf and Irrigation Supply, if this is the first time you've made donations to charity.
So this is the first time we've done an event with where we're actually serving food or packaging food. Yeah, we have done other things in the past. My brother, who's in the marketing aspect, he's the VP in sales and marketing of our business. He does a lot of team building activities, and through those team building activities, they do a lot of donations. We've done Feeding Westchester. They did, like my father was talking of earlier, they built bicycles to give to orphans. This year, I can't remember this year what they did, but every year they do something.
For the veterans.
Oh, the veterans. Yeah, sorry. The veterans. We also are starting a new thing this year through our company. We're doing these hats that people can buy, and all the proceeds from the hats goes to Lyme disease. They're promoting to Lyme disease and people who can't afford to pay their medical expenses. So
we do a lot of that. We do Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots. We actually have them set up right now at our location. So if anybody has any donations for Toys for Tots, we have them set up there. You could drop off, any toys.
That is really incredible. So, and it's not done through a foundation. It's just
it's just Central Turf and Irrigation Supply doing stuff for the community.
We and us and the employees, my family and the employees, which we feel they're part of the family.
Yeah,
so they're all contributed to this. That we work towards to make sure this happens.
So if like an employee has a favorite charity, or if they have a family member with a medical illness, and then they say, "Oh, could we raise money for this charity?" Then everybody pitches in.
Yes,
we actually have 2 employees. Like I said, one who has Lyme disease, and we have another one whose brother is currently dying from, I think it's ALS, I want to say, but and we actually just donated money to his family so that they can.
That's so nice.
So that he can live comfortably for the last days that he has, and to support his family. So.
Well, people must be like begging to become an employee of your company.
Yes.
Really, you've created such a corporate culture of care and family. Could you elaborate on why that is so important for your business, and why it's so successful to have a climate and an environment of care and love for the employees?
It took a while for them to understand that we care for everybody. So once they realize that, they want to pitch in, they want to do everything they can to be part of it. So the more we do, the more they get excited about it. They work very hard. They'll put the time in. They'll do whatever we want to do. They want to be there. They want to be to do anything they can to contribute it. And that's one of the things that I can't believe how much they care about doing these things. So it makes me want to do more.
Yeah, we're not corporate. We're not corporate like. We're just a family-owned business that everybody knows, like, hey, we're working really hard. I mean, everybody works extremely hard. But they know that the reward in that is that we are able to donate 1,000 meals. We are able to help this gentleman whose brother is dying and his family. We are able to help with the Lyme disease. We are able to help, Feeding Westchester, Toys for Tots, all these things.
It
takes our work, all our hard work to do this.
We help them through their crisis and in their family. So anytime there's a crisis, we want to hear about it and see what we can do for them.
Exactly.
To make sure they come out of it without that much of a pain. So we know everybody has crisis.
Right.
Sometime.
And the beauty of it is it doesn't matter. It could be employees from Minnesota. It could be employees from
Canada.
Chicago, from Canada. We're all here together.
We're there for them.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, no matter what, we could have a guy in Georgia who's going through something. Our people from Chicago and Minnesota will try to help them. I mean, it's a beautiful...
That's fantastic. You've created such synergy under your leadership. Your leadership style is so unique and so different.
My brother had a lot to do with it.
That's really
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm sort of jealous. I feel I have to implement what you're doing at the town, because it really is. We have like 500 employees in the town, and then we have part-timers, and I'm sort of thinking that a lot of families are going through struggles, and they have health problems. It could be a son, a daughter, or a parent, and it would always be nice if we could really, as a government, let our employees know that we're there for them. Because sometimes people have no idea what to do, and they're keeping it in themselves.
They're very shy to talk about it.
Yes,
they're very concerned. And I want our people to tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me, let me know, because I'll have a way to go around and help them.
This is like so inspiring. Wow. This is like very inspiring.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure of like a lot of other businesses that do it. So do you sort of like keep reminding people that if they have a problem, or do they just know that?
I think they're comfortable enough.
They talk among each other.
Yeah.
So it just goes on.
But we also have a very open door policy. That doesn't mean because we're owners that you can't come to us. We want you to know we could be the first ones to come to.
That is really
so
amazing.
If they don't go to my dad, they'll go to my brother. If they don't go to my brother, they'll go to my mom. If they don't go to my mom, they'll come to me. It's somebody will say something. And
this is really so inspiring. Now you just have changed my life. Now I feel that I feel I have to do a better job as town supervisor.
I think you do a great job.
You know what? No, I really hadn't thought of people call me all the time with problems, but I never I really feel I should be reaching out more to the employees and let them know that we're there for them. So now, as a result of this, I'm gonna when I get home, I'm gonna be on my computer typing to all the employees. I'll let them know about you. Thank you.
1460 WVOX.
Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and
I'm Pauline Mosley.
And Pauline, isn't this a really inspiring interview?
It's very inspiring, and like you said, it really causes one to reflect and think about how they are interacting and engaging with people, and what you can do to show more compassion and care.
That is great. And you mentioned during the break that, and I want to remind our listeners that I'm interviewing Bernardo Luciano of Central Turf and Irrigation Supply, and his daughter Camilla Servillo, and she works at the company, and the family. It's a family business, but they also treat their employees like family. And yesterday, when you were donating 1,000 Thanksgiving meals to Greenburgh's, to residents of the town, and people in the community who need help, there were about 40 employees from your company who were serving, and I wanted to ask, were they all like local people who, and did you require them to come?
Nope. So I sent out an email to the whole Central family and said, "Hey, everybody, we're doing this event." I had mentioned it a little bit at the we just had one of our big sales meeting. So I mentioned that we were going to, we were in the works of doing this. And I would probably be sending an email out soon for volunteers. So they kind of got a little bit of a heads up before. Then I sent the email out and said, if anybody would like to volunteer, here's a sheet. Just sign up. Please bring your families. We're all one big family. Bring, So they, they just went in and signed up, and I told them, you're going to get a free shirt. we got them all nice free shirts for Central. So it was great. I mean, it was really great. Nobody was forced to come. We had people come from Maryland. We had people come from Rhode Island just to be there to be a part of this.
And to get a free shirt.
And to get a free shirt.
That's great. So if they went from Maryland, just the cost of the gears cost more than the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was really nice. But they were all so pleasant, and
Yep.
and I took a picture and I posted it on Facebook, a video, and it was like, and I kept, for some reason I kept looking at it all night because they were like so organized and efficient.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I didn't sit there and was like, you do this, you do. I didn't say anything. They just work. We work so well together.
So
that
you mean they
everybody just stepped in and just knew what they were doing. I mean, it was
That's incredible.
It's so cool to watch. I mean,
it was really like so well organized. I was like so impressed. And again, I want to thank my assistant Krista Matson.
Yes. Thank you to Krista, yes.
Because she worked really
extremely hard.
And you know what? Like I know, like my limitations. If I was organizing it, there would have been chaos.
No, she's extremely organized, and she's a beautiful person inside and out.
And you know what? I think we always learn from these experiences, and I think this was such a fantastic effort. It was also nice because it highlighted the Greenburgh Health Center, which really does a lot of good in the community. So one of the reasons why I was so pleased is because it brings more attention to a health center that can serve the community. Every time I've reached out to the health center, they've always been helpful.
Yeah.
We had outdoor flu and vaccine shots a couple months ago. They paid people to get the COVID vaccine. They gave people $50 gift certificates if you just got the vaccine because they want to keep people healthy. That's really nice because they're thinking about ways of helping people. They're actually applying for a grant. They want to do house calls. There's like a lot of people who have medical issues and they can't go to like a health center. They may be homebound. So they're going to actually make house calls to people who have medical problems, and I'm not aware of any other organization that wants to do that. So I told them I'll help them with their grant application. I just want to ask another question. You mentioned that one of the reasons why your employees are so caring. They work really hard, and you have an interesting profit sharing program. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
You want to talk about it?
Yeah. So we implemented a profit share. I implemented a profit share. My older company that we sold out, and then this is new company we started. I always felt that employees should be part of the profit of the company. It's so important because we just organize things, but they're doing the job, right? So the employees is the one who's doing all this. So without them, we don't have anything. So our employees are a very important piece of the organization, any employees, right? So I felt that they needed to be part of the profits. Any profits the company does, they should be part of it. So we set up a profit share when we started it, and we set it up in a way where it takes 5 years to fully vest in the company, so that we feel that a guy that's been there over 5 years, he should be fully vested, and a guy that comes and goes, he's only get piece of it. The rest of them is going back to the other employees, not to the company, but to the other employees, right? So, and that's how we set up the culture, and it's working out very well. and they all feel very important to look after our profits and make sure that we run efficient and we help each other. We make sure that we support and do everything to help each other. Just like Camilla said, that they were well organized. We didn't do that. They did it on their own because they used to get involved, organize themselves in a way where the one that could do better or knows better will tell the other one the better way of doing it. So that's it goes from my daughter to my son to my granddaughters to everybody that, that you just let the people that they know how to do it, to put it together and roll out with it. So every time we have our sales kickoff meeting, everybody talks based on what they feel is better, how to do better. So they help each other.
That is, really, really great. And sometimes by, instead of being greedy, you're making people feel that they want to do a better job. So if they're getting profits, then they're going to, and they feel that they're part owners, then there's an incentive for them to work harder at their job. And even if you have a culture where you're letting people know that if they have a crisis in their lives, that the company is there for you, then they're not going to be bad-mouthing the company. They're going to feel good about it, and they'll keep working harder. And there may be a couple months where they're not, if they're stressed out, they may be falling down, but then they'll always come back and do more.
Exactly.
It really is such a role model for other companies. And again, for people who are just tuning in, I just want to thank your company and you for donating yesterday 1,000 Thanksgiving meals to residents of the town of Greenburgh and people in the community, in the county, who need meals. And it was very unusual. And one of the reasons I invited you on the program today is because people will donate a turkey sometimes, or a few turkeys. But I don't know of anyone who's donated themselves 1,000 meals. It's really incredible. And the meals weren't crappy meals. They were all catered by DeChico's.
Sons. Yep.
How did you pick DeChico's?
So a mutual friend put us in contact. We had known them, like we had seen them and spoken to them before, but we have a mutual contact that got us in touch and helped us with this, though. But yeah, and it was great to see, John Sr. He was there. He was there helping. That
is great. I'm a vegetarian, and even I was tempted to want to eat the food, but I didn't, because it should go to the poor. But I'm Paul Feiner, and we're going to be right back. And my guests are Bernardo Luciano and his daughter Camilla Servillo. And as I said before, they're like the modern day version of Mother Teresa. The Greenburgh version, if we had to have a Greenburgh and New York version, right, and Connecticut version, you'd be the closest that I could think of.
Now, back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor.
And I'm Pauline Mosley.
And I was mentioning, some people probably are saying Bernardo Luciano is an amazing, person, what he did with his company and what he did with yesterday, donating 1,000 Thanksgiving meals to people in need. And just so you know a little bit about Bernardo, he emigrated by himself to the United States. You can tell me if I'm wrong, in 1970, and he was 15 years old at that time. And he began working in restaurants, supermarkets, and even drove a taxi at night before landing a job at a landscaper contractor. And that started his lifelong career in the green industry. During your first few years on the job, he became intrigued by irrigation and its ability to create beautiful landscapes. And embracing his inner entrepreneurial skills, Bernardo decided to get into the irrigation business. And he did just that. He left a job with a landscaping company. He worked for an irrigation contractor. And after a few years as an employee, he became a partner in the business. And then he was ready to go out on his own. He started his own successful irrigation contracting business in Elmsford. And after selling the business in 1995, Bernardo purchased Central Irrigation Supply. And with the help of his devoted wife, Philomena, and daughter Camelia, and son Anthony, Bernardo grew Central from one location in Connecticut to the largest family-owned and operated landscape supply company in the entire North America region, with over 58 locations throughout the United States and Canada, and with 300 employees. The headquarters has been in Elmsford since 2002. So he's given back to his employees. He's given back to the community through donations to yesterday and other donations. And it's really an inspiring story, but it's also inspiring because, a lot of people feel that, they can only be successful if their parents were successful or they grew up rich and had everything. And you're really self-made.
Well, I got to say that it's very important to me that I didn't do this by myself. My daughter and my son were right along with me all these years. We share, we lean on each other. My wife, we lean on each other to see what we can do, if we can do better, what we can do to expand, what we can do to overcome the economy. So there's a lot of work involved here with the whole family and employees.
Yeah.
We have our key employees that they're part of the decision make, and decisions are made very well, very organized, and very effective. So I don't want to take the credit for myself. I just think that
we work as a team. We do. We really do. And I was just going to say, the pandemic changed a lot of things. And in our industry, there was a lot of changes. We were hearing, a lot of people were getting laid off. Right. A lot of people were getting furloughed. We, as a team, family, we came together and said, we're not letting not one person go. I don't care where we're going to make the cut, but we're not letting not one person go, especially during this time. And we were fortunate enough, we did not let go of any of our employees, and we actually hired more people.
Wow.
So, that was like a huge...
Wow.
That was something.
That's one thing that I'm proud of as town supervisor during the pandemic. I refused to lay off anybody, and I'm proud of that. And I also, let people work at home. And there was one person who has an oxygen tank, and we let him work at home. And my feeling is sometimes you have to recognize that you could be in a situation. People are always stressed, and the thing is you have to put yourself in the situation of another another person. I sort of am wondering because I'm so impressed. I'm as impressed with your work ethic, and again, as I said, I'm now inspired that as a result of this, I'm going to do things differently in the town. I'm going to be, I can't wait to get on my computer and I'm going to type something to all the employees. I'm saying, I want to know if you're having any problem, we're going to be there for you. And you could see me directly, and I'll try organizing effort. So that's the count of you. So you could be our unofficial advisor. But the thing is, I'm wondering if you had, you worked in a taxi, you worked in supermarkets, you worked in restaurants, and I'm wondering if you got your philosophy about how to treat people because maybe you weren't treated that way by the companies you worked for previously. Did you have bad experiences with some of your employers, or were all the employers that you worked with really terrific?
Well, through the years, I experienced different things, right? So sometimes I find that my supervisor wasn't as nice as should be, for the wrong reason. and I absorbed that, and I felt that could have been better. I was one example. I was driving a taxi, and when I first started, the dispatcher couldn't wait to get rid of me the first day because I frustrated him because I didn't know much. Right, by the fifth or sixth day, I was his best employee because I tried to improve it quickly and tried to work hard on it, and he helped me a lot to get out and be exposed. And one of the things that I did and that helped people, older people that they couldn't get out of the cab quick enough, they couldn't get the bags, I helped them out. So I always felt that that's what it needs to be done to be better and to, because you want to help people all the time. That's the key.
That is really great.
Yeah, as an example of such generosity, what advice would you give to other local businesses or just people in general so we can emulate your example of generosity? What advice would you give?
I think that, it starts with the employees. Get them involved, get them to help, get them to be part of it because the employees want to do these things. I didn't realize that years ago, but little by little I start to feel that employees, they want to do just as much. So if you get them involved, they're going to help you achieve what you want to do. We want to give, right? We want to give back, right? Employees want to give it back too, just as much, if even more. So if you get them involved, you get everybody to chip in, and it becomes very easy to do. And it's not just financial. Sometimes it's hard to figure out how you're going to do it. And the work is more, hard than money. So people will help.
Yeah.
People will find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I think the biggest concern, like I said, is I think people just don't know where to start. They just, like even us, we didn't know. And I said, wait a second, we live in Greenburgh. We have Paul Viner, town supervisor. I'm like, we have to reach out. And it was the best thing that we ever did because now I know that outlet is there. So if I want to continue to do this, I know where to go. There may be people listening right now, they just don't know who do we go to? We want to do the same thing. We want to initiate the same things. Where do we go? So
Right, and it's all a learning experience. I think yesterday's event was really amazing, and we could do things a little better in the future. So you start, you learn from your experiences, and hopefully you could figure out a way of making sure that the people who need the help the most, get it.
Exactly.
And I just really, again, I'm so appreciative because, giving 1,000 meals out to people who are hungry is really, nice. And, I want to mention that, Central Turf and Irrigation Supply, you didn't ask me to put you on this program. You didn't say, oh, I'll do this only if you promote the business. I wanted to do it because one of the goals is basically to inspire other businesses to do the same thing.
Exactly.
If every business gave back, and gave back not because they had to or not because they thought they were going to make money out of it, but because they really cared about people, the world would be a much better place, and there'd be a lot of people much happier. And do you feel that, do you get sort of a sense of happiness when you feel that you see a smile on somebody's face?
That's the most fulfilling part for us. Nothing matters as long I said it going in. I said yesterday morning, I said to my kids, if I can just make a difference to one out of that 1,000 people's life, I've done my job.
So it's actually part of your compensation is to see somebody smile.
Yeah.
So if you see an employee smile, and you've helped them overcome the odds, it makes you feel great. So it's sometimes worth more than $1 million.
Yeah, it really is.
And this is really great. You're both really inspirational. And
Very
again,
inspirational.
now as a result of this interview, I feel that I'm going to be a better town supervisor. It's really funny. Sometimes you meet somebody and you don't even expect it, and then all of a sudden they sort of change your life forever.
Absolutely.
So I'm really looking forward to making our employees feel appreciated in the town. And they should know that they may have a little problem or a big problem. They may not know who to go to. They may be embarrassed, and if they come to us and we could help, it will really make them feel it'll make them feel great. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for inspiring.
Thank
and
you.
for what
Thank
you
you
do.
Thank you very
having
much
us.
for having us.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
really
I'm Paul
appreciate
Feiner,
it.
and I'll see everybody
Thank
next
you.
week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.